Word cigar, C-I-G-A-R, as an acronym. So basically, it's a mental checklist. Every letter means something.
Yep.
So C means controls. So what I want you to do is do the same thing you just finished up a second ago. Move the stick left and right, front to back, and you're checking for freedom of movement of the control system. Make sure everything works like it's supposed to. Looks like the elevator's working. Ailerons look like they're working. How's the rudder pedals feel? That's left, right. They feel okay?
Yep.
We'll call it good. Next letter is I. That's instruments. Let's look at our instrument panel. Upper left is our altimeter. That's on. I want you to move that little knob until both needles are pointing up at 0. There you go.
All right.
Next in line is your airspeed indicator is on 0.
Yep.
And then we have that little black ball a little bit out to the left, but that's going to tell you how much rudder pedal pressure to use in a turn.
Yep.
Vertical speed indicator upper right. Our tachometer bottom left. I know that's jumping around a little bit, but that'll be just fine once we get a little bit more electric going to that instrument. But right now we're at about 700 RPM. The most important gauge in any airplane is the bottom right. That's your oil pressure, and that's your oil temperature gauge. And
Yep.
your oil pressure's in the green, and your oil temp is 30, so we're looking good there. CIG is for gasoline, right above your head. There's a little glass tube, gravity feed fuel system. We have 2 hours and 20 minutes of fuel on board. Plenty of fuel for today's flight.
Yep.
Inside the cockpit on the left-hand side is your mixture control. I'm moving that around. You can see that little red ball.
Yep.
We'll leave that all the way forward. And then right ahead of that, you'll see a little red arrow says on or off.
Yep.
And we want that on, or it's going to be a really short flight with no fuel.
Magnetos, right?
No, the magnetos are the black lever that I'm moving. See on the left?
Yep.
Right, that's the magnetos. The bottom red. Red means fuel.
Ah.
A is accessories. Your elevator trim tab is underneath the throttle on the left-hand side.
Yep.
I'm going to set that. And then the last letter we have is R, and that's for run-up. Let me check our engine here. So hold this stick right where it's at. Bring the power on up. Now you'll see on the left-hand side our magnetos right now, they're on both. I'm going to switch from both to left. So we're looking for a magneto drop, and we got one of about 70 RPM. That's normal.
Yep.
Back to both. And then over to right. About the same. Back to both. Now look out the right side of the plane. So we have a smoke system as well, which is fun. I like smoke systems. Well, again, Jared, welcome aboard. We're going to have a great time. You're going to be flying a 1942 Boeing N2S 3 Stearman. And I was telling your folks, you'll never forget today. I mean, that's wonderful. It's great that the first airplane you flew was a Champ. Great airplane. Second one was a Stearman. I mean, wow, you're in rare company.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, because of where you're going to be going here, I want you to stay on the controls with me on takeoff, okay?
Okay.
If you look over the side of the airplane the majority of the time, you're going to do great. And then when you grab this stick, just relax and don't have a death grip or anything like that. I want to kind of explain this whole takeoff procedure here. The idea is we're going to look straight ahead and focus on infinity. So basically, we line up the airplane with the center line of our runway.
Yep.
And we look straight ahead, focus on infinity, and when you do so, you can start to see these little white runway markers going by. We're going to bring the power in, full power right there. So we just got this airplane speed on up, going down the runway. The tail comes off the ground right about there. She's ready to fly. We just gently bring the nose up. Here's a little air show smoke for your folks. And we're flying. Pretty cool, the whole open cockpit deal. You wouldn't want to be flying this in North Dakota today.
No, almost certainly not.
Now, the first thing I want you to realize is we have to learn how to maintain airspeed. Energy management is what we call it. You can look at your airspeed indicator, and right now we're going about 80. So this airplane likes about 75 to 80 miles an hour on the climb out. The first thing we're going to do is a left-hand turn, so ease the stick to the left. She will roll to the left. When you get the angle of bank that you want, bring the stick back to neutral. Perfect. If you look at that little black ball on your instrument panel, you don't have to use any left rudder at all because the torque of the engine is going to do that for you. Now, Jared, keep looking to your right. We have Fantasy of Flight as it over this way. The red and white checkerboard water tower is right here. If you keep looking to your left, you will see the red and white cell tower with a little flashing beacon on the top. Do you see that there?
Yep.
When we're heading towards that, I want you to roll the wings to level.
Okay.
Good. Perfect. Now, I want you to hold this heading. Once we cross over the top of our runway, we'll try a right-hand turn.
All right.
So far, so good. No one's around here. All right. Remember, on this, you're going to have to use a little right rudder. Let's try a shallow turn to your right. 10 degrees, 20 degrees, perfect. Stick back to neutral. Great job. You've already added that right rudder, and that's how you fly a Spearman. Let's go ahead and roll the wings back to level. You'll realize that, again, you have to use no rudder at all going to the left. Now, Jared, if you look at me in the mirror, you got it. I let go after the first turn. You got it. She's yours. What I want you to do is fly right over the top of this sand mine right here. Now, I'm looking at you. I notice that your left hand is on the cockpit combing there.
Yep.
What I want you to do is just slide your hand down, put it on the throttle. That's where you want your hands when you fly planes. Right hand on the stick, left hand on the throttle. Just fly straight on out. I think one of the reasons why this airplane is such a great trainer is because of its speed. It's really, really slow. And when you're going slow, it makes it just easier to learn how to fly. Now, a lot of the maneuvers that we're going to be doing today, they're called ground reference maneuvers.
Yep.
Now, what that means is just by looking over the side of the airplane, you can see which direction you're going. For example, if you look down to your right and ahead of us, you'll see a road that we're going to be crossing over here shortly. Do you see that?
Yep.
That road is a north-south road. So what I want you to do is cross over the road here, and I want you to make a right-hand turn and follow that road to the north. Shallow angle of bank turn. We're looking for about 20-degree angle of bank and a little bit of right rudder. Beautiful. Hold that right there. Nice. And we're going to the north. Now, let's look over here off your left. If you look over here, you see there's a fence line or a tree line out there?
Yep.
That's east and west. So everything out here, this is where we're going to be flying, is laid out in north, south, east, west fashion. Let's make a shallow left-hand turn. Let's go to the west. Good. We're right over the top of another road. Let's make another right-hand turn. Let's go back to the north. 20-degree angle of bank. Now remember that when you make these turns in airplanes, you always lose a little bit of lift.
Yep.
Exactly. You got to bring the nose up a little tiny bit. Good. We'll roll the wings to level here. And then we'll make one more left-hand turn. Now, we're going to go up to about 1,200 feet. Let's go back here to the west. And there's 1,100 feet. Good. Just keep on climbing. Go up another 100 feet or so. What do you think so far? You got to like this better than the Champ.
Yep, definitely.
I learned how to fly a Champ when I was 14, 15, 16 in my high school years. Great airplane. But I kind of like the outdoors.
Yep.
All right. We'll level the aircraft here. Looking good. Now, I want you to look directly ahead of the windscreen. We have those wires that come out of the cockpit. They go to our upper wing.
Yep.
Those wires right now, they're at a 30-degree angle. I'm sorry, 45-degree angle to the horizon. So what I want you to do is give me a 30-degree angle of bank turn. Let's start off by going to your right. 180-degree change of direction. That's about 30 right there. Add that right rudder. There you go. And around you go. So that would be 90 degrees. And you can see that by looking at those little fences down below. 180 degrees is here. We'll roll the wings back to level. Let's try a 30-degree angle of bank turn to your left. Same deal. 180-degree change of direction. 10, 20, 30. Good. Stick back to neutral. That's 90 degrees. 180 degrees is here. Go ahead and roll it on out. You having fun so far?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to push you. Again, at this point, focus in on those wires. I want you to do a 45-degree angle of bank turn to your left. Put that left wire up there parallel to the horizon and about 3 inches above the horizon, and that'll be a level turn.
Okay.
Whatever you're ready, let's try it. 360. No rudder at all. There you go. And you can see your direction right here. This is south. That's 90 degrees. This is east. That's 180 degrees. $270 degrees is here. I love what you're doing. You're looking over the side of the airplane. That's exactly how you fly this airplane. 360 is here. Awesome job. Let's try one of those to the right. Same deal. Add a little right rudder on this one. Good. 180 degrees. I'm sorry, that's 90 degrees. So when you get your private pilot's license up in North Dakota, this is one of the maneuvers they make you do. They're 360 left, 360 right, and they don't want you to go up or down more than 100 feet. 270 degrees is there. 360 degrees is here. We'll roll the wings back to level. Nice job. All right, I'll tell you what, we're down here at about, 850 feet, 800 feet. Let's go up a little higher. Now, the next maneuver we're going to do is called the Lazy 8. All right, you're going to like this one. Trust me, it is really kind of cool. They're really easy to do as well. So what we'll do here is I'm going to come on the controls with you, Jared.
Yep.
We're going to do one of these to the left together. And you can do these as shallow or as steep as you're comfortable with. It's all good.
Probably shallow.
Well, you got it. Just hold on. Just stay with me here, okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start off with a 10-degree angle to your left.
Okay.
Right there. That's all you want. We don't want that. That's way too much angle. 10 degrees. Now gently bring the nose up. Hold this stick right there. Don't move anything. Now listen to the airplane. You can actually hear the engine start to chug. Airplane slows down. Gravity will pull the nose through the horizon on its own there. We haven't done anything. Now listen to the airplane. You should be able to hear it speed up.
Yep.
Do you hear that?
Yep.
Start rolling it to the right. Bring the nose up. And you're going the other direction. And you're going about 100 miles an hour as well. What do you think? Were you okay with that?
Yep.
That was a little pause there. Let's see. That was nice and shallow, however. Let's have you try one of those. I'm not going to help you this time. 10 degrees to your left. Good. Now bring the nose up a little bit. Good. Now just freeze the stick. Don't move it at all. It's slowing down. There's 75 or 70. Here comes the nose through the horizon on its own. Downhill she flies. It speeds up going downhill, and then you gently roll the wings to level. Good. Very nice. Let's try one of those to the right, Jared. The only difference on this one is you're going to have to use a little right rudder pedal pressure over the top. 10 degrees, good. Bring the nose on up. Hold the stick right there. Now add a little right rudder. Look over your right shoulder. That's why they call it lazy. Look how slow that is. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Now the airplane's going downhill. You can hear it speed up. There's 85. There's 90. Roll it back to your left and bring it on up. Nice. You okay with those?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to test you. What I'd like you to do is do one of those to the left, followed by one to the right.
Yep.
No stopping in between the two this time, okay? I'll
right.
talk you through it. 10 degrees and bring it on up as much as you want. Up you go. You can hear her slowing down. Here's a little air show smoke. Now you know what it's like to fly at Oshkosh. Good. Let the nose come through the horizon. Let it speed up. There's 85, there's 80, 85. Start rolling it to your right. 10 degrees to your right. And bring the nose back on up. Good. A little right rudder here over the top. And downhill she comes. Good. We'll roll the wings back to level. Now and you just did a lazy 8 all by yourself. Now, isn't that cool? At first, you're like, I don't know if I like this, and then you pushed yourself, and you did the whole thing on your own.
Yep.
Great job. What do you think so far? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse?
It's about what I expected. The stick's heavy. Though.
Yeah, the stick is heavy, absolutely. Now, the more advanced you got in your pilot training in World War II, the lighter the aileron forces are. If you were to fly a T6, it's very, very light in roll. I never have flown a P-51, but I understand you can fly that with one finger on the top of the stick. It's that light.
Wow.
Let's do a 180-degree turn, left or right, your choice, and we'll go climb back up to 1,000 feet. Now, back in World War II, I would expect you, Jared, to fly this airplane, solo this airplane by yourself in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction.
Wow.
Now, if you couldn't do that, I'll give you 2 more hours of training. And if I still thought that you were not safe in the airplane at 14 hours, you're out. What do you think? You think you could do it?
Maybe.
I think so. You're doing great. Let's go up a little higher. There's about 850. I'll give you some more power. Now, I appreciate your trust. You trusted me on the Lazy 8s, and you did a great job with those. We got one more thing to do here. We're going to do a little slow flight.
Okay.
Slow flight's cool. Again, what it does, it further develops your whole seat-of-the-pants flying technique. Just by sound alone, you're going to know what she's doing, okay?
Okay.
So what I want you to do, your job is to keep the airplane in level flight. Since your left hand is on the throttle, I'm going to introduce you to making a power change. I want you to gently bring the throttle to the RPM gauge, the bottom left. The needle is pointing to the number 3. So come back on the power. There you go. Come back some more. There's 17. There's 16. So when you make power changes, your main objective is always fly the airplane. Fly the airplane first. There you go. Perfect. All right. Now look back outside. Look how pretty it is up here. Now I want you to gently lower the nose. Put the airplane into a shallow dive. A little bit more. Lower the nose. A little bit more. Tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires.
I can hear it now.
All right. So you're going about 100 miles an hour. Bring the airplane back to level flight. Perfect. Hold it here. Now this is like coasting up to a stop sign in a car with the windows down. Can you hear it slowing down?
Yep.
Bring the nose up some more. Come back some more.
Whoa.
Come on back. Just keep those wings level as best you can. I know Mother Nature's kind of messing with you. Good. Bring the nose up some more. Come on back some more. Come on back. Come on back. You gotta trust me. It's no big deal. Come on back. Come on back. Now you're gonna feel the stick shake. Here's your stall right there. That's not a big deal. Now listen to the airplane. It's going downhill. If you listen to it, you'll hear it speed up. You hear that?
Yep.
And the nose, if you notice, the nose came right back up to level flight.
Yep.
And so basically, it recovered on its own. That's not a big deal. And basically, that's how you fly a plane.
Wow.
So you learn how to go left and right, and you use the rudder pedals. Great job with those. Up and down. Lazy 8s were a combination of the two, and then we just did a slow flight and a stall. So it's really important to know what the airplane sounds like when it goes fast, what it sounds like when it goes slow, and you really want to know what to expect if you ever inadvertently stall the airplane. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
Let's make a left or right hand turn, and we'll go back to the west. Beautiful. Well, here's what we got. It's like the fastest half an hour of your entire life. We have about 8 minutes left to go here before we have to head back towards Fantasy of Flight. This is your opportunity to have some fun. So if you want to try some more turns, we can practice those. If you want to push yourself and do different types of stalls, or if you just want to fly it around, this is your time to do all that. For you young people, I think you guys call it freestyling.
Yep.
There you go. So the deal was back in World War II, your primary training course was 65 hours in the Stearman. So you're in this thing for 65 hours. You got your wings. Once you graduated from the Stearman, you would go into the BT-13 basic trainer. 100 hours or so in it. the Texan, the AT6 Texan, 100 hours in it, and then finally the fighter. So you had right around 250 to 300 hours when you were flying P-51, which would have been cool. I was born too late.
Yeah, me too.
So I am going to challenge you with something here. We're going to use our smoke system as a learning aid here today.
Okay.
But we talked earlier about doing your private pilot check ride maneuvers. What we'll do is we'll do a 45-degree angle of bank turn.
Yep.
When you start to turn, I'll give you a little air show smoke. If you do a complete turn in the sky and you don't go up or down, you should fly right through your smoke. Let's try one to your left to start. So put that left wire parallel with the horizon. Here's your smoke here. All right, there's your marker. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Again, remember, it's plus or minus 100 feet. Obviously, if you did this type of thing with the FAA on your check ride, look at there. Perfect, fly right through the middle of it. Great job, that passes right there, Jared, nice. Let's try one to your right, same deal. I'll give you some more smoke. Here's your smoke on here. Keep it going around. Look what you got right here. Oh, that's your first little blob of smoke. Here's your second. Great job. That passes as well. Yeehaw! You having fun?
Yep.
Let's make another left-hand turn. We'll go back to the south. So what do you think about those lazy eights?
They were fun.
They were all right? You want to try another one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go up a little higher. Right now we're at about 500 feet. I'll give you some more power. We'll go back up to about 800 or 900 feet. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun in the Stearman and not have to go upside down or any of that crazy stuff. It's fun just to fly around, and the lazy eight things are fun because, again, the more of those you do, the more comfortable you become in them, and the steeper you can do them. I like them. They were a lot of fun for me. There's 750 feet. That's good. Here we are at about 800 feet. We'll level out here. All right, Jared. No one's around us. Let's try one to your left. There you go. Hold it right there. And what you got to do, remember, now hold the stick right where it's at. Don't move it at all. Let the nose fall through the horizon right there. Good. Now let it speed up. Listen to it. There's 80, 85, 90. Good. 10 degrees to your right. Bring it on up. Now this coming from the guy who didn't want to do these at first. Good. Little right rudder right here. Good. Listen to it. There's 105 miles an hour. And you recovered very nicely with minimal G's.
Yeah, and that one right turn there through the smoke, that was a bit interesting.
I thought you did great. Because it's, you know what's interesting is like you were cranking in really steep turns, and you did 45. Actually, you were doing a 50-degree angle of bank turn a little bit earlier.
Oh, wow.
But the steeper your angle of bank, you start feeling those G-forces. You know, if you went into like a 60-degree angle of bank turn,
yep.
You start feeling that. Let's try this. Bring the power back to about 1,600 RPM. We're gonna try some descending turns. Let's make a 30-degree angle of bank turn to your right, and take me down to about 600 feet. There you go, perfect. What you're doing right now is, this is what you're gonna be doing in the pattern. Shallow angle of bank turns, just like this, descending turns, because you were doing climbing turns before. Good. We'll roll out of this. Let's do the same to your left. 30-degree angle of bank turn. Let's go down to 500 feet. Awesome. Coming down. Let's roll out of this. Let's make another right-hand turn. Let's go down to 400 feet. Jared, I grew up out in California, and when I grew up, I didn't want to be a fireman, policeman, nothing like that. I grew up in central part of the state. I wanted to be a crop duster. And this is kind of what we're doing right now. Isn't this cool to be able to fly down low like this? I love it. Just keep it coming to your right. Now let's make a 180-degree turn to your left. I'd like to land in this field right here. Certainly without the cows, though. I don't want to hit a cow. There you go. There's a nice 45-degree angle of bank turn. Looks like they got some baby ones down there. You like this?
Yep.
Yeah, you see, flying is supposed to be fun. There's your shadow. All right, we'll level the airplane here. Now, what does your altimeter say?
It says about 300 feet.
300 feet. So you're flying over these trees at 300 feet. Some of the rules that you're going to learn up in North Dakota is you have to stay 500 feet away from any person or property.
Yep.
Now you can look around here. I don't see anybody, and there's nothing out here at all. The other rule we have is if we had to make a precautionary landing,
yep,
you have to have a place available to you, and we certainly do have that right ahead of you.
yep.
Let's go down a little lower. There you go, good. Brought the power back, love that. I see some cows up here. They don't count as a person. There you go, this is good. You can see it's a little bit bumpier down here, normal.
Yep.
And then we'll add a little power here. Now look off to your right. You see those water towers over there?
Yeah.
There's two water towers. The one on the right is bluish in color. I want you to make a right-hand turn. Let's head over that way, and I'll give you some more power. I want you to climb back up to about 800 feet.
All right.
And remember, our best climb speed is what? Do you remember?
About 100?
75. It's like right now you're going about 85. There you go. She'll climb up. Now we're going to take everything that you learned here today in the Stearman, and I'm going to have you do it in the pattern to land. I'm going to push you a little bit, and what I mean by that is I'm going to have you fly the pattern to land, and you're going to be making power changes. Let's go a little bit more to your right. There's that bluish green water tower up. There you go. Good. And we're coming up on 700 feet. There's 600 there. I'll give you a hint. I see you looking and trying to look where you're going. If you cannot see where you're going, that means you're going right to it. So we want to go to fantasy flight. You can't see it, so it's right over the nose. Perfect. All right, so we'll level off here and bring the power back to 1,750 RPM. So when the needle's halfway between the 7 and the 8. There you go, perfect. Now I'm going to look at, I'm looking at the wind down below here today. And there is a little bit of breeze. We took off on our long runway heading away from fantasy flight.
Yep.
Looks like the wind's blowing from the northeast to the southwest, so we're going to land into the wind.
Yep.
So here's the deal. Right ahead of you is that bluish green water tower.
Yep.
Once we get there, I'm going to have you shoot right pattern for runway 4. So that's going to take us right into the wind there. And bring the power back to about 1600 RPM. There you go. Now, Mother Nature, with some updrafts, has pushed us up to about almost 1,000 feet. Actually, yeah, so let's go ahead and bring the power back a little bit more. You adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. You got that. You adjust your speed by using pitch.
Yep.
Now, off your right wing, you see that lake right there?
Yep.
All right, let's make a 30-degree angle of bank turn to your right. Head for the middle of that lake.
The big one or the little one?
Little one, small one.
All right,
there.
I got you.
Good. All right, so right now you're on right downwind for our runway. There's your runway right there. So roll the wings to level. Bring the power back a little bit more. No, back. Reduce your power,
back.
yeah.
Oh,
Reduce your power. Get back some more. Good. That's good there for now. Let's make another right-hand turn. 90-degree turn to your right, 30-degree angle of bank. Good. And then we'll roll the wings back to level here. Now, can you see your runway?
Yep.
All right. So this is called right base. We're right base for runway 4. Your only obstacle here, Jared, is on the end of your runway. You have power lines.
Yep.
There's no way you're hitting those. When you're ready, I want you to make another right-hand turn. Go ahead and line up this airplane with our runway. Watch this. A couple of birds ahead of us here.
Oh, wow. That would
Ooh, push it there. You got close to him. All right, I'm going to bring the power back. Now, you hear that whistle sound?
Yep.
I want you to line it on up. You have a little crosswind left to right. You can see what it's doing. It's kind of pushing you to your right.
Yep.
Just make sure the heels of your feet are on the floorboards.
Indeed.
Okay. Hear that whistle? There. Now line it on up. Get it back to your right. Now listen to the airplane. We got plenty of speed. We bring the power back. Now, gently bring the nose up. Good. Hold it there. Bring the nose up some more. Up some more. Up some more. There's your runway there. And all you got to do is just keep it going straight. And you do that. Keep the stick all the way back to your lap.
Yep.
And then you have to make small little minute rudder pedal changes, just like I'm doing here. Because we're still looking straight ahead. Because if you look to the right, it's going to go that way. Cool. Now, we talked about taxiing earlier. I want you have the airplane. So I want you to do those little zigzag guys, okay? We'll add a little power. So you go a little bit to your left, hang your head out the right-hand side. Good. Start coming back to your right. And then you'll hang your head out the left-hand side. Good. Back to your right. This is the hardest part of the flight. It's very important because, like I said before, this is the one that you got to learn how to taxi this thing so you can learn how to do the takeoff next. And now we're looking to your left, and you're looking for alligators, turtles, cows. And then back to your right. Super. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it from here. Awesome job.
All right.
Did you have a good time? It's a lot, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You might be ready for a nap. We're going to bring it back in here. I'm going to park this thing right back where we found it. The only time, again, like I mentioned, is when you use brake, is when you turn it. And also when we did the engine run up down there. So we'll bring it on in. We'll go all the way to the right. Now to shut her down, what we'll do is go ahead and bring that mixture control all the way back to lean for me. Take one more deep whiff, you'll smell some 100 octane fuel burning there. Great job.